obviously on most escort maps it's very close spawns, but I feel like on Route 66 it's just that tiny bit closer that it feels a bit like a 2 CP at the end.
Yes, indeed, especially with the longer sight lines. You'll definitely be wanting your long-range people to keep everybody in an arm's reach. And we're going to Route 66 for our next map. And one that we hadn't seen for quite a while, but I'm glad that it's actually making its return.
Yeah, I am too. We do see it in AOL, so it does make sense for teams only to stick to the one map pool and only be practicing the 5 that you get in AOL and just keep going with Ascent. But you still have your favorites. If you see a map that you really like as a choice, you're obviously going to do that. So we will be hopping into Route 66 in a few short seconds, hopefully.
Indeed, and the side of paradigm shift will be your defenders, and your attackers will be on the side of Pluto. And now let's travel to Route 66, and we've had a brief pause, perhaps a bit of a miscue there, but everything is okay.
So I've actually seen, obviously not in higher level gameplay, but people running a bit of goats on escort maps. It's quite a weird strategy, but I have seen it done. And on the attacking side, it's really just forgetting about the payload, just push it to them and then just move around. But obviously, what the attackers should do is just take the fight back down onto the payload and draw them down. We won't be seeing that, at least, I don't think. We might see a Doomfist actually be coming out, and that'll be interesting to see, as he's coming back in the meta.
Doomfist seeing a lot more mileage lately. Maybe we'll see him in his right hand deal a little bit of pain. But we'll have to wait and see. Oh, Busan playing the character roulette and just really trying to throw off everybody, including the opposition and the casters. So that is a ton of fun. But we do see the side of paradigm shift well and truly stocked on top of Big Earls. We do have the Orisa and Diva and Soldier, and especially the Sombra. Keep an eye on Cloudy. Not only to call out what compositions are on deck, but to hack a high value target or a health pack and make things known to their opposition. But Busan has gotten a Sombra in kind, so this could be interesting moving forward.
Yeah, Pluto Gaming's still not running what we would call a conventional main healer, but maybe there's something they know that we don't with the Lucio, not recent, but with the extended range a month or two ago to 12 meters, maybe that they found reason for him to be putting out more heals as a grouped up team.
A bit of a stalemate, but now with Busan actually moving towards the back, that could have been the cue to go for the side of Pluto, but they've been brought back down to Earth, with DC Bolt and Cloudy being a tandem effort. So this payload won't be making any progress for the time being if it's saved off.
Hopefully we don't see what we saw last game, which was a very close Ilios, but then a stomp on the next two maps. Hopefully we don't see that. Hopefully we see some tough fighting in here. But we will have to see what Pluto's going to bring to the next team fight to push this car past this choke that's here. And they will look like they're going around the right to try and get behind them, actually, it seems like.
SK's gotten rid of Autumn, so that's a huge pick taken off the table. A huge hero taken off the table straight away. So they'll definitely be happy with that. And with the constant looming threat of Busan on the Sombra, definitely playing very far back on the side of Paradigm Shift, making the side of Pluto really respect the space and giving them free rein to move forward on the card.
Yeah, they moved it forward while they could when Paradigm fell back. They were just waiting for Auden to get back, I would think. And we do see the Genji blade now charged up and it being used, but also the tack visor.
And Destiny Unsheathed, the blade got dropped to the earth. The Brigida and the Winston there as well. The side of Pluto Gaming are following suit. And Autumn ejected the Diva. They're definitely aiming to stretch out the respawns for as long as possible, and also now and actually been put to bed and put out of commission. So that's stagger. We said this quite often. We said this quite often during our last series as well. How much value you can get out of making the opposition wait. There is the rally called out from Quinlan, giving the comrades a little bit of extra healing going into this next fight.
Busan just making noise in their backline, making them scared so they aren't really focusing on the rest of their team, it seems like.
There is the EMP and self-destruct. That is a huge amount of value there. So that push is well and truly done on the back of that.
Yeah, hopefully we see Pluto Gaming push to this final point. They do have a lot of ults stocked up. They possibly have 5 with Brig being only 20% away. Just after Paradigm's used most of theirs, we do have Autumn coming on close to attack phase, but that's about it. They've seemingly just used all of them in that previous fight with the Diva Bomb and the EMP coming out just to stop that fight, really. But seems like they don't have a whole lot if Pluto decide to use all their ults together in a effective way.
And then definitely smelled it right there. There is the self-destruct coming out there and just trying to buy space. We're down to the final hours, and there's the sound barrier there for PG0 line as well. A lot of that tech fight that is actually being nullified by the defense matrix, but they did claim 1 in Destiny, but that might be all they're able to muster. Yes, they did get overtime for Paradigm Shift, but it is, well, just mere formalities in the end. Pluto at the payload will keep rolling forward.
Yeah, that was the majority of their ults, and they still have the Dragon Blade, but it does seem like Paradigm probably will be able to slow them coming into the next fight because they have possibly 3 ults coming up soon, with the Brig probably being able to charge her up in the middle of the team fight. Hopefully we don't see another stall. Hopefully they get a bit of push on, but we will see as they start generating their ults.
And Busan could be getting them going very quickly, and Destiny's actually unsheathed the blade, and the EMP did come out in kind, and Destiny's definitely putting it to work with DC Bolt being taken out extremely quickly at the hands of the Dragon Blade there. And guys, if you did end up dropping a pair, but that is just all for ego at this point. The payload did end up moving forward, but it looks like the Santa Pluto are actually respecting those frags that Cloudy Shipper were gotten and deciding to retreat.
Still no swaps seen from either team, so no, it does seem like it's more of a skill battle than any hard counters coming in. So they're respecting each other, it seems like, and we do have Destiny dropping in early in that fight.
Indeed, and Autumn did go down the PG0 line, but that might be the only worthwhile frag falling to the side of Pluto. We're done under a minute now, and they do have a combo that we have seen a lot of mileage of. Not a minute or two ago, Hong Songia and Busan do have the self-destruct and the EMP. If they can get enough value off of it, it could be huge, but on the flip side, we do have Cloudy Shiver and DC Bolt with the same combo in turn. We could see them both used in tandem. And there is the self-destruct, and Mighty Boy is no longer a part of this fight. And Busan may have gotten the better of the EMP self-destruct exchange, although single-handedly knocking over the Paradigm Shift defense. And we're down to 40s now, going towards 10 seconds, and this could be the last fight.
This would be
either before the end of the map or the second point.
This would be a nice spot for a EMP Diva Bomb. It doesn't look like you're going to get a DC Bolt taking out a mech too quick, so it will be Pluto Gaming moving on to that third point, possibly seeing some more swaps here where you do get the longer sight lines, but Paradigm have 4 ults charged up with Pluto only on 2, and we do see a swap onto the Reinhardt. Very important on these long sightlines to have a shield that can stop anyone from just getting any tickle damage.
Cloudy Shifu is maybe foresaw a potential Reinhardt has gone to the Junkrat. A lot of damage that can actually either break or get right over the top of the shield. And there is Autumn with the Tac Visor and the Nano Boost on top of it, laying waste to the squad of Pluto Gaming, but they got bailed out with the sound barrier and a lot of the defense measures, so that got nullified. All things considered, a good exchange there for Pluto Gaming, and especially knocking over the manpower of Paradigm Shift is even better. So this cart will move forward relatively unopposed. And now, Paradigm Shift, you are on the clock.
And Busan back onto his McCree, where we saw him prolific on the well. Hopefully we can see it coming into this last point, but it looks like it's going to be quite difficult coming onto these last ones where it does feel like more of a 2CP area with the spawn so close. But they're going to cap actually.
Funde had gone to charge. One of the members did end up taking out the honor there, but it was not enough. Didn't get back quick enough, and sadly was not to be. There's barely any time on the clock, but it's still top of the clock. They end up with 8.3 seconds by the end there, and they weren't even given a chance to stall on the side of Paradigm Shift. So they might be feeling a little bit miffed after that one. A little bit of a miscalculation there from Funde on the Reinhardt there. Now currently on the Winston. We'll have to wait for the assembly phase to start to see where both these teams will stand.
Yeah, the first couple points on A and B, there does seem like the high ground is very important, so having the Winston able to go up there and contest and go up there and claim, it is quite important. We do see Cloudy onto the Widow, hopefully. Busan back onto the Sombra for his first point. Possibly Destiny on the Doomfist. No, he's just teasing us. The Doomfist tease, it's been... We saw it in our earlier we saw the Doomfist played in our earlier series. It's just being teased at the moment. Hopefully we do see him at some point.
I'm a big fan of him as a guy that's grown up with fighting games and Street Fighter and Killer Instinct. I like seeing a guy that can do uppercuts, and Doomfist is a guy that can do uppercuts and do a lot of damage to boot.
Yeah, he did get nerfed in the recent update though, with his damage fall off from his left click. It's not enough. It's outside of the useful range for it, so it probably won't be much. And we do see a pause coming in just as the round's about to start. 0.8 seconds.
Yeah, and perhaps a drawing of attention, a little bit of lag for the computer. So we'll wait for that to even out. But we see Funde on the Hammond, which has seen a lot of mileage, and I'm really happy with it. Especially seeing how Wrecking Ball or Hammond, depending on which you prefer, how he's actually come into the forefront so quickly. He only came out, what, a couple of months ago?
I still don't think he's quite established. Like, a hero that was definitely quickly shifted into meta was Brigitte, like with the Goats comps and how she was initially. She was very much thrusted into the game, and Hammond hasn't seen that much. He's very rarely been played, I've found. Only seemingly when they need to contest a point is he used just to roll out quick and get on the point. But other than that, I haven't really seen him being used a whole lot, other than after his release, the Hong Kong Australia show match where he was actually first used in competitive Overwatch, I believe.
Yes, indeed, and it was Trill at the forefront of that, and it looks like Funde is leading the charge and maybe trying to call things out. He does have the third-person cam of the ball form to use there, but it looks like the space is being respected by Pluto, and this pilot is really moving forward. It looks like DC Ball has moved in extremely far and has gotten a lot of mileage there with one tank and now two healers taken out of the fray. Funde letting it rip with the Hammond and the Wrecking Ball. Well, they came in like exactly that, a Wrecking Ball, and have wiped out the defense of Pluto Gaming, and this payload will have a crazy time moving towards the first checkpoint, if not just through the first checkpoint outright.
Yeah, and coming in like a Wrecking Ball indeed, but it did feel like Pluto was very split, possibly because of the pause that they called for, but just being taken out, coming back in, trying to recontest, but not able to do anything, it seems like. But they are stuck a meter out, and they will push it to the second point.
and a lot better off on time by a huge margin. And you see a couple of members of Paradigm Shift moving forward, trying to get a better positioning for the cart. And well, why wait for the opposition to come to you when you could just go to them? And they're definitely moving on to that. But Busan is actually moving in as the Sombra. Does not have the EMP at the ready, so that is not a threat as of yet. But it's definitely calling things out. There is the ultimate from Autumn, and has dropped 2 members of Pluto from this fight, and there's nobody to bring them back. There is no mercy in the fray. So that is a huge piece of the puzzle falling into place for Paradigm Shift, as this payload will move through with no contest.
Yeah, Paradigm doing what's often seen. It's not very effective to take people out of the fight and put more than one on the payload, because I believe with 3, it's only 125% of the regular speed with just one hero on the payload. So taking the fight forward, getting that extra distance forward is important. But we do see EMP and nanos coming out from Pluto Gaming.
But it did not amount to much. Homesolia was the only person to be taken out. And Destiny with the high noon at the ready. Sorry, the sun has set on that endeavor. DC Bolt has made sure of that. Busan has gotten rid of Fun there, but it might not be enough in the grand scheme of things. And the Diva pilot of Homesolia has been taken out of the fight with authority. And now they're only bleeding for time on the side of Pluto.
Yeah, Pluto just trying to contest and get the time that Paradigm, they've just absolutely melted through these first couple of points. They have 4 minutes 45 going into this last point, where Pluto pushed it in about 1:20. So if they can do a similar thing, we might see Paradigm just coming out with an absolute stomp on Route 66.
But Destiny, keep an eye on him. He's really far back, and it looks like Autumn has actually smelt the rat and let everybody know that, hey, there's a small British lady who can manipulate time, is all the way out the back. Busan has been gotten rid of at the hands of DC Bolton. The kill feed's painted blue, and that long flag from Destiny could end up being a detriment now that he is in amongst the fight. And all that is left in Destiny on 15 HP and has been blown sky high by Autumn there, and the side of Pluto Gaming have a chance to defend, but it's going to be extremely difficult given the time and the distance.
Yeah, Paradigm Shift, they've used all their ults they can, and Autumn just playing with Pluto here, just raining damage, and it should be a cap here for Paradigm. And that was 3.5 minutes left on the clock, 3:32 if I'm not mistaken, and we will see that increase to 4:32, I believe. 4:23, sorry.
4:23 with the addition of 1 hot minute, given the side of Pluto Gaming did finish out right, but it was under the 1 minute threshold. So, what say you, Pluto? How do you do with 1 minute pushes? You didn't fill us with a lot of good tidings, given how they played on the side of Pluto, how they played their offensive half. It took a while to get going.
Yeah, you can see they're taking quite a long time to decide on the heroes they're choosing. Obviously, this 1 minute is all that they have to push it, as far as Paradigm have 4 minutes 23 to push it. The start looks a bit like a Goats comp, with Busan not on DPS, and it does look like it's shifting towards a bit of Goats, actually. But they do have Autumn on their Sombra, so they might catch this beforehand.
Goats at top to bottom. We see Diva, Reinhardt, Zarya, Moira, Brigitte, and Lucio on deck. But there's definitely a lot to try to deal with that. No projectiles, to be fair, but we do have Autumn on the Sombra and Cloudy on the McCree to keep everybody at an arm's reach. And Autumn in his gun position is definitely going to let everybody know about this and try to cause as much of a ruckus as possible. And that was to his demise. Destiny will open the fragging proceedings by dropping Autumn, and that could be the turning point very early on.
And Autumn with a quick swap onto the foe, seeing that they're running a bit more aggressive. There's a huge hold there from getting all 5 of them pulled in. Sadly couldn't do anything with that. And it does seem like they're starting to contest the high ground here now.
They're moving upwards, and DC Pod has actually gotten a bit better of SK. That is a tank well and truly taken out of the fight, and another one is briefly been ejected. And Busan has basically called it quits, knowing the time is not on their side. And Destiny's actually got the reply there, is well, really only trying to buy a tie for himself at this point. And to just outside of Big Earl's, the overtime was triggered, but the side of Pluto are unable to recontest. So just outside of Big Earl's, just past it, and the side of Paradigm Shift have 4 minutes and some change to do it.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Pluto. But, I mean, we've seen some crazy things today. We've seen a 7-minute hold on happen. So, I'd hope they do it. We want to see a lot of maps out today. I'd like to go the full 5, but it just all depends on how well they're going to hold back. We do see Thunder Ray going back onto the Hammond that they pushed the first time around, and once again, Pluto, they want to think about this. This is going to be it's their first team comp might decide the map.
They are almost certainly in a one and done position on the side of Pluto Gaming, and Destiny and SK are still undecided in who they will choose, and just really wanting to sit down and think. They will have enough time to get into line, but now we see Destiny on the Genji and SK on the Winston, so playing a little bit more dive to counter what Paradigm Shift does have on offer. And now the gates drop, and Paradigm Shift have to get the payload to just outside of Big O's to go 2-0 up in the series. Let's see how this all pans out.
Yeah, once again, we do see that Pluto Gaming, they're quite split again. They got half and half. It does look like they're going to be grouping up a bit more though, but Autumn will be just raining his death from above, which he's been doing the entire time. He's gotten so much value off of this Farah.
Stick to what you know works has been a menace for quite a while, and now, although the distance is being respected by Pluto, I can give them that. That might not be enough, given the payload has been moved with no contest, and it's going oh so close with...
Oh my god!
And we have a Charlie Niner situation on the side of Pluto. Paradigm Shift will take the map of Route 66, and there's nothing else to really say to that defense from Pluto as to what on earth happened.
That was just I don't know what happened there. It was not a lot of... I have no clue. I'm lost for words. They were a bit split off the side. They were a bit late because they were changing heroes still with 8 seconds to go. And, well, Paradigm did push up so they could hold them back before so they couldn't contest the cart. I couldn't really see if that was good play from Paradigm or Pluto just forgetting that the card exists. And
it could be a glass half full or glass half empty situation that you're looking at here, because of how that all transpired. Because it looked like, yeah, the space is being cleared, but perhaps a huge mistime from the side of Pluto, and just arriving a little bit too late, because they have to respect the Farah. There's no question about it, and they gave it too much respect and gave the Farah free reign.
Yeah, so we do see coming up as a sub, we will be losing Busan for what we've been told is Sukyang.
Sukyang.
Yeah, and we haven't seen anything yet on the side of a map choice. And we will see Chi, I believe that was 4, coming in for Hong.
Alright. Fantastic. Chi. Just call him Chi for short, and there's another person named Chi that I know who might not be watching, but hi anyway, in case you watch this.
I do also know a Chi. Probably won't be watching.
Yay.
And
Awesome.
then we will be seeing SK dropped as well. For someone who we will be asking for the translation as soon as possible.
And that is not Busan being brought back, is it?
No, it is not. Oh, is it? Oh no, that is Busan.
I remember Busan because the first symbol of his name looks like a little dude with horns. Yeah.
Ah, yes, that's right.
Yes,
Yeah, so it is
That's
Busan.
how I remember. So we have Busan, Hom, and Sukyang being the players with Korean. We've had an impromptu Korean lesson tonight on the broadcast, which is actually quite lovely.
Yeah, I hope everyone brought out their textbooks and started studying, because I know I have. I've been writing down everything.
Yay, fantastic. Glad, actually really glad that we've been sort of graced with names of their native tongue, because you know that Overwatch is a global game, and the Korean contingent is, well, quite large. There is no denying that, and just seeing how the newcomers are sort of testing their mettle, and it's been a real interesting experience.
Yeah, I just really hope that their ping isn't affecting them too much, because I do believe they're not just Korean living in Australia. I believe they live in Korea. So
interesting. And that will ping, just spitballing here, because we'd be on the east coast of Australia, I guess. What about 180 ping?
Because of Korea being amazing with their esports, I don't believe it'd be that high. I think it'd be.
I'm going purely by distance though, in Infinity.
Yeah, it's understandable. But I think I've seen some European players getting pinged to NA with like 140. So I think it might be around there. We obviously will have no clue. But it's whatever. It's just spitballing here. I don't have a clue in the world.
Okay. Alright, we have a new battleground for this next map, and it will be Hanamura once again, and we bring back the old tale. Will we see a snowball, or will we see a one fight on the first point and then an absolute brawl on the second?
Yeah, with our previous series, I don't think we got both first points just completely obliterated with 7+ minutes to go. And sadly, there was a 7-minute hold to go with that. But hopefully we don't see that coming out from either of these teams, because I want to see a close game where it's not just a shutout.
Indeed, and they've definitely shown on between these two teams what they are able to produce, and Paradigm Shift, they're definitely feeling in the driver's seat given how they've played. They did have a little bit of stumbling coming out of the blocks, but I think from here on, from the end of Ilios and right through Route 66, it must be said, especially given the time that they put on their first attack, they're well and truly equipped to really hang with whatever that gets thrown at them.
Yeah, Pluto, they came out strong, but they weren't quite there on Route 66. Hopefully we see them coming back on Hanamura, give a fight. I want to see some good Overwatch here. I don't want to see anyone being pushed over. I want to see some 3-man high noons being matched by 4 Diva Bomb or something like that, where it's 1-for-1. You keep going forward and back. You want to feel like you're watching a movie go out. You don't want to see just a roll.
You want to see it go back like a full-blown war of attrition, back and forth. As to how things will go, and that will be the end of formalities. The ready has been called, and we are traveling to Hanamura.
And another insta pause. I'm not sure what's going on there, but
I want to think that could be a latency issue.
Oh no,
Latency
I
or,
do believe
load?
Paradigm hosting.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the rest of the lobby.
Oh, not loading in yet. Oh yeah.
Yeah, perhaps.
Because the settings are on player disconnect to pause the match instantly, so that might be it.
Yeah, it might take a while for the opposition to connect, given they are playing from Korea, and well, good on them for really having a go and showing what they're made of. And
Something we haven't really spoken about tonight is the shortened timers with the 45 seconds to prepare defenses.
Yes, I actually hadn't really noticed because it was sort of go into order part. It got shortened to 45 seconds from 1 minute. And that's a big deal.
Especially for a broadcast, you're not spending 1 minute wondering about team comps from the other team. We have seen some tactical suicides, maybe, coming out from, I believe that was Paradigm doing that.
Yeah, a little bit of a red herring been dropped into proceedings from Paradigm Shift, maybe trying to throw everybody off the scent. And now the gates are now down, and your attackers will be the side of Pluto again, and they will have to contend with the Paradigm Shift defense with an Autumn on the Farah, who's been red hot all night and wanting to have that form continue.
Yeah, it really hasn't seen much contesting. He's just been able to rain some death from above, and currently we see Sakyang on the Sombra, and Cheese just swapped from the Winston to the Diva. Destiny currently on the Farah. They actually have triple DPS running on the side of Pluto Gaming. That could be interesting. They did lose a tank for it, and so they will be relying on Diva to make room.
And then Autumn's actually been hacked. That could be a high value target. Dropped from the sky like a stone, but it's not going to be worth all that much if you can't make good on it. And so Chi-Chi has just been absolutely demolished and destroyed by DC Bolt and the contingent of Paradigm Shift. Sure, DC Bolt did get ejected at the hand of Busan, but that might just be a mere formality at this point. Yes, it will, as the Sombras will go toe-to-toe and Cloudy will come out on top. And now on the side of Pluto, you might be reconsidering what your next move is, given how much time is left on the clock and how little some of the ults have actually advanced in the meantime.
Yeah, I was gonna say with DC Bolt being taken down and Chi dying, I thought that might have been a good opportunity for Pluto to push in, but DC was able to just get that spam damage in for the ult charge and is back in mech at the moment.
Destiny actually got nano boosted and actually got the strong arm onto Autumn, and Funday has been dropped from the fight. And it looks like Autumn has been deemed far more valuable. And Paradigm Shifted just battered back in the blink of an eye this entire attack. And now it is only the Lucio there and the final Diva of Chi being left there and being probably dealt with by Autumn, who's still an absolute deadly force. And now we're going just under 1 minute 40 and 4 ults on deck for Autumn, and a big sleep though from PG Zero Line. That was impressive, but it is not worth all that much. Could have gotten close though if he did end up going down.
Yeah, 4 ults on the side. It's ults being used very quickly from both sides actually. They had a lot of ults on deck, and we do see the Barrage and High Noon being used.
There it is. They've decided to move the brawl in and around the bell on the main point, and loop-de-loop goes Funday's done a couple of revelations, but it is not enough. That fight is well and truly won by Pluto Gaming. They were just under 1 hot minute. Mighty Boy will deem the operation a loss and move back with his comrades. We're running into 4 minutes 50. But now the start of Paradigm Shift, they definitely do have the time to get dug in and halt whatever the side of Pluto can throw.
Yeah, Cloudy swapped off on the Widow possibly to deal with the Farah, but we did see the Farah swap off from Destiny, so he will be on the Genji coming into this next point. Still running the triple DPS from Pluto Gaming, and 4 ults in bag for Paradigm, but they might not need it with Busan being taken out very quickly by Cloudy.
That's a big piece of the attack dropped very early on, and Peach Zero Line no longer in the fight. So, the side of Pluto just playing the clock now. Will be just under 4 minutes, and they'll be gearing up for another fight. It's going to be another even fight, which you wanted so dearly to take place. We're seeing 5 ults on this side of Paradigm Shift and 4 ults on this side of Pluto. You see them really wanting to make a go of it, and there goes the minefield from Fondare, the self-destruct. Did go out from Chi, but it was not to be. Autumn got rid of the pilot, and Busan has won the Widow duel over 30 Shifu for the Zombie, but Autumn once again ruling the inside of the temple with an iron fist. Does still have the barrage in the back pocket, and Fondare has rolled right through Destiny. So Paradigm Shift holding strong so far.
Yeah, Thunder did swap off the Hammond there. They have 5 ults up their sleeve. They've been holding this quite well. We do see 3 ults on the side of Pluto Gaming. 1 being used from Paradigm Shift.
That'll be the Infosite to basically sniff out this entire attack and make the attack from Pluto a little bit more passive, given they see everything, and there goes the Infosite from Busan, which will see the eyes go onto the defensive formation of Paradigm Shift. It's a lot of respect on both sides. Not a lot of damage exchange, and a big reflect from Destiny. Perhaps trying to get a lot of value off of that, but it was not to be. The barrage did come out from Autumn, and 50 Line and Chi going to have to go back to the spawn room. And that's another push quelled. It took a while, but they ended up getting there on the side of Paradigm Shift. We're running to just about 2 minutes.
Yeah, they still have a whole lot of ults up their sleeve. They still haven't used their Diva Bomb, haven't used any of their support ults. They will be having Primal Rage coming up for the next fight as well, it seems like. But also, Pluto Gaming still have a lot of their ults up their sleeve, with the EMP coming in there with the Blade as well.
And Sun Yang will be the one responsible for that. That is the cue for Destiny to unsheath the blade and make the shift into a whole lot of death for Paradigm Shift. And Busan will prevent DC Bolt from coming back into the fight. Now, Paradigm Shift are well and truly on the stall brigade more than anything else. We see the swaps to the speedy heroes, the Tracers, the Lucios, and they bought a little bit of time, but it is not enough. There is only 1 left on the point, but now none left. The CC Bolt is bought and laid to rest. Pluto end up seizing the temple with a good chunk of time, all things considered. 1 minute and 21.
That second point can be sometimes so difficult to crack it. Luckily, they were able to fight through. Paradigm Shift, they held onto those ults for so long and really didn't get any use from that at the end. Normally, you see on those 2 CPs, maybe not a full cap the first time they get onto the point, probably 2 ticks is something you'd be okay with as defense. But they were able to just push that out and keep staggering them. We saw the Doomfist for a little bit. He did get an elimination, but that's about it. And it does look like a goat's coming out from Paradigm.
Yeah, well, they know it works. They've seen it done time and time again, and they'll keep doing it until it stops.
Yeah.
And keep an eye on the DPS contingent, though. It's going to be quite ugly for both of these members to chew through. We see Destiny on the Junkrat and Busan and Sun Yang on the McCree there. Really wanting to lay waste with what's on offer.
Yeah, and we do see Yong onto the Brigitte now as well, and seeing our good friend Busan, who was quite good at his McCree, off to the Diva now, and Chi on the Orisa. So we're going to see an Orisa Diva from Pluto on the defense, and then, as we said before, Goats coming from Paradigm Shift on the attack.
And Sun Yang is actually standing right behind the Orisa shield, which can be replenished quite quickly, and if this McCree is left unchecked, it could do untold amounts of destruction and mayhem. It looks like the side of Paradigm Shifter wanting to just wrap around and take the fight onto the point proper.
Yeah, Destiny already halfway to his tire, just getting that easy spam from the Junkrat after 60% now. Could have a tire into this first fight already, but it does look like there's a few picks coming in there. They shouldn't be able to get a tick on this one.
No, they're going to absolutely try, but it might not come to fruition. The Riptide does come out from Destiny, and that's well and truly put a cap on things, as Mighty Boy is the last to fall. That's the first push nullified, essentially, by one single Junkrat and a ton of explosions.
Yeah, so coming to the next fight, we probably will see 3 ults coming in on the side of Pluto Gaming, with the High Noon, the Rally, and the Nano. But we will also have the Coalescence in the Rally on this side of Paradigm.
There is the Deadeye from the side of Pluto. Does eject DC Bolt, does not get all that much, but he has used the Coalescence and to great effect thus far. The Rally has been brought out in kind from Hong and keeping everybody else topped up, but it might not be all that much in the grand scheme of things. Destiny has gotten rid of Mighty Boy, and the right heart of Paradigm Shift has been brought extremely low to get close, but it is not enough. The self-destruct comes out from Pluto, but it might not be all that much, and Destiny almost got caught out. Did end up getting a Riptide kill for his troubles, but did not get all that much off of it in the grand scheme. And finally, it took a little bit of grinding and a little bit of scrappy play there. Looks like this first point is coming close to being seized. She did buy a little bit of time, but that could actually be to the detriment, given 2 members of Pluto are actually down and on the respawn time, and this could be the cue to go for Paradigm Shift.
Yeah, a few people might have caught that there. Yes, that was another Deadeye coming in from Psykyong. So that was very quick on that. Just an unchecked McCree can do so much effort, and that's a supercharger down from Marissa there as well.
And be extremely wary of Junkrat when there is a supercharger on the field. There is going to be a lot of mayhem, and the feed is actually painted red for the defense. That's basically waved off any resemblance of an attack from Paradigm Shift. You can still see Destiny and his bombs being just basically laid down to the main gate with a plum. Definitely making Paradigm Shift second guess how they approach this.
Yeah, I mean, Junkrats that go unchecked will always be able to just make a huge impact, but Paradigm do have 5 ults on their side. Not as many on the side of Pluto, but they actually might get 5 soon as well.
Stood right in the trap. That might not have been a good place. The Deadeye was used, not too much effect. Destiny has let go of the Riptire, and as you can no doubt hear the exclamation, DC Ball has gotten rid of the pilot, but that trade is well and truly one that you will take every single day of the week. Not even a third has been seized thus far for Pluto, so that is a victory in the grand scheme of things. A lot to chew through for the defense of Pluto, and it looks like they've done a very good job thus far. And Mighty Boy is the only member of Paradigm Shift on the point property. He's one to get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah, just a good defense coming in from Pluto Gaming. And we do see a couple ults still up. Chi on the hamster will be getting the minefield is up as well, with no ults on Paradigm, possibly Lucio after this team fight.
Perhaps, and Clay Shifu not even close to an EMP. Not a lot in amongst the ranks of Paradigm Shift as a whole. So perhaps just wanting to try and find a high value target and hack them to try to keep them honest.
Yeah, it does seem like it probably will be a very brawly fight, except for those couple of ults on the side of Pluto Gaming. But that is Cloudy taking down with the minefield.
That's a little bit too far out the back. Definitely was not expecting that. I am almost certain. And now, there's no members of Pluto on the point, but they have to really respect this on the side of Paradigm Shift, just knowing what they're up against, and they'll slowly work their way in. There is the sound barrier drop down, and there is Quinlan actually dropped it as a whole. And there is the rally from the Brigade, so despite being the nanoboost, having the nanoboost at their back, there is 1/3 of crew, so that is one small victory for Paradigm Shift, but Now they're running out of time and running out of players, especially with Autumn going down last.
Yeah, the beat drop there from Lucio was a bit too early, my boy. If he waited a little bit, Quinlan might have survived that D-bomb, but it was very close to call. Can't really fault him on that, but really just Pluto Gaming just holding this defense quite well. They possibly Paradigm might get in with a quicker time. It doesn't look like if they will. They got about 40 seconds to do that, and that we will see them pushing onto the point now up in the rafters area.
There is the Nanoboost injected into Fundan, definitely running right over everybody. And despite that, PG0 line did end up taking it down. And there's the McCree telling you all what time it is. And sorry, friend, the gates are closed. Paradigm shift. Paradigm shifted, basically saying nope to this push and get all the way out.
Psycheon just really just came out with that high noon, and then Paradigm Shift went and reset their clocks to daylight savings, really, because they need to make sure it's never that time again.
Yeah,
that was quite large. They were just 2 picks and just ended their entire push very quickly.
And they injected so much into that on the side of Paradigm Shift too. That was the Nano Boost onto the back of Fundan. Looked like the Primal Rage was used as well and was not so much effective. Fundan getting isolated and absolutely demolished. Cloud Shifu does use the EMP to try and disable things on the side of Pluto. Doesn't end up getting the frag on the PG0 line. DC Vault has gotten rid of the Brigitte there. So finally a window open for Paradigm Shift, but they better act quickly or it will close just as quickly.
Yeah, if they do cap this time into overtime, we will see Pluto having to cap just the first tick of the first point. If not, we might go to Lijiang. We see a lot of ults coming out there. The Lucio being cancelled.
And it looks like the defense is well and truly clicked in now. Chi-Chi has gotten rid of Fun there, and we're down to 15 seconds. The Supercharger will be out of commission in this next fight. But, well, in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that big of a loss, given the side of Paradigm Shift might not even get a chance to touch.
No, they might get a touch in, but I'm not sure how valuable it will be with Quinlan going the Brigitte there, and that's a lot of ults coming down and a lot of picks coming in as well.
Especially with the Reaper there, and despite Cloud Shift trying to reach for the sky, it looks like the attack has been punished. And the side of Pluto Gaming has fought back and fought back hard. They seize Hanamura for themselves.
So we will be going to 4th map now with either Route 66 or Blizzard World. That's the first one of the night going past 3rd map, and I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully I see some Hollywood. I'd be looking forward to some Hollywood.
You actually said Route 66 and
oh, sorry.
But we will see the perhaps very rare Hollywood or the seemingly much more favored Blizzard World coming out, and Paradigm Shift have the power of choice.
Yeah, so Paradigm Shift were the first choice of today. Their first choice of today. They haven't had to choose before now, and not sure if we'll see any subs come in. That was pretty good from Pluto Gaming. That those couple of subs did work out well in the end of it.
Yeah, a little bit of retooling of the lineup. Definitely paying off dividends there. You saw them get stuck in there, and we see Paradigm Shift going to Blizzard World for our 4th map of this set.
Yeah, Blizzard World. Do see the Widow a little bit with the long sightlines coming in for the 1st and 2nd points, not really the 3rd, but I'm be interested considering both teams have shown that they can run goats. I'm just wondering if we'll see it coming in on the attack side, considering we didn't really see it on Hanamura.
A little bit of a thing to consider there. But now everybody has called the ready. We're just waiting for the map proper to begin. And just to remind you again, We are watching the Ascent series powered by AOE Sports, the first division. My name is Justin, aka Cyberwaste. My right hand man is Infinity, who is my co-caster, and we thank you for joining us.
Yeah, and going to this fourth map, I'd like to see a fifth. As I said before, more Overwatch is always more fun. If there was a tie, that'd be even more Overwatch, so that'd be the best thing. So,
Please no ties.
yeah. Lee Zhang's always fun.
Lee Zhang's a classic, though. I'll definitely give you that.
Something tonight I've realized is I've seen the Hammond a whole lot more, which I've been enjoying that. The Hammond, I love seeing the Hammond go out. Don't see his minefield getting a whole lot of kills, except on Cloudy last map with the Sombra, possibly not even realizing that it was deployed.
Or he was caught in a backpedal. I think he just fell down and realized there is a giant field of giant balls known as mines right underneath your feet. Sorry, friend, that's your life now.
Yeah, and Pluto Gaming, sorry, they both start with P. It's pretty difficult. Possibly running the triple DPS again. They ran it for a whole lot of the time last map. Obviously they won, so they were doing something right. And we will see them with the Widow Tracer and Genji, with Hammond being their solo tank.
Well, it's interesting, but there are a lot of pieces to deal with Autumn being on the forest still, and it's definitely done that. Got bought very low, very early on, and we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that Widowmaker, because one bullet right between the eyeballs at full charge means no more Autumn, and yeah, Autumn's definitely aware of this.
But sadly, if you get a body shot and just fall back, that's just feeding ult charge to the Mercy.
You definitely want to get the kill shots there, and she has actually been dropped out by Fun there, so that is the only tank in their lineup being brought down to scrap metal. So yet again, these long fights and all this honesty being seen in these fights. We're not seeing a lot more of the scrappy style of Overwatch. We're seeing a lot more of the disciplined style, not really wanting to put a foot wrong on either side.
And that could possibly be with Paradigm being one of the top teams here, and also Pluto being a Korean team, a whole lot more competition in that region, you'd think. And that is, I believe, Busan being taken down by Autumn there, but Quinlan being taken down by Sakyong. Sukyang, sorry.
Sukyang actually getting a huge frag there with Quinlan being taken out, and there is the engage, the minefield, and the destruction which will surely follow. And yes, indeed, the feed is a lovely shade of red, and there is the hunt in there from Sukyang to get rid of the pilot and the mech in tandem with Destiny. So 4 minutes 35 after that fight is done and dusted.
Yeah, she was very unlucky with the timing there on that minefield. Came out just before the MP, so had little to no usage at all. They were able to just walk straight through them. And Autumn just able to generate ult charge. We've got 4 ults on the side of Paradigm coming into this next fight, with Pluto possibly getting 2, maybe 3.
And it should be noted that there is still no D.Va, so this barrage, if it's left at a good place, it could rain untold terror. And there he goes, he will drop 2 members and a 3rd on the way down. And that is a whole lot of tasty.
And she being taken down before that, so Autumn with another 4k there. Just asserting dominance as far as just really just seeing Autumn just have a day out, really, on the fire. Hasn't seen a whole lot of contesting, really. Oh, except then with Sukyang coming in, just stopping and probably getting a bit aggressive. Destiny ulting as well.
That's definitely cut a lot of the defense in half and has forced a few of the back. Shifu did get rid of the Tracer there, but that is just slim pickings. And Paradigm Shift have all but conceded this this part of the fight and are moving back towards their spawn.
An interesting swap is Autumn is now onto the Wrecking Ball. So no more Pharah, but they will be triple tanking currently, with Cloudy being their only DPS.
There is the EMP going out, and there goes Destiny. So that's a little bit of value and lots of hits with the EMP, so that's going to have to keep the side of Pluto Gaming on the back foot and honest, and they're well and truly acknowledging that. And especially with the Brigitte going down at the hands of Thunder, will be the end of that. Just trying to stretch out the timer as much as they can on the side of Paradigm Shift. Looking at the position of the cart, the spawn's a little bit closer for Paradigm Shift, so I definitely call that a win, all things considered.
Yeah, we did see a couple swaps coming in from the side of Pluto Gaming. Busan is now onto the Reaper instead of the Tracer, and Sukyang is now onto the Sombra instead of the McCree because of the swap off from the Pharah, most likely.
More likely. We have a ton of tanks to chew through, and we need the souls to do it. Reaper is well and truly the best for that. The Nano Boost onto the Brigitte and the Winston on either side, and it looks like the Winston is now down and out. That the swaps are paying off in a huge way. That is a one-team fight with authority. Destiny has unsheathed the blade and cut down the healer of Quinlan. Hope you have good healthcare. There goes dueling minefields in and around the payload, and there's the EMP there, trying to battle things back for the side of Paradigm Shift. And it was looking like almost a second checkpoint, but now Paradigm Shift are definitely not going out quietly.
Yeah, Destiny had a moment there when there was no one on the payload and it was able to push it just a little bit closer. It wasn't able to get it the full way, but he is getting a lot of value for his blade. Just consistently, when you hear that voice line of Genji starting his blade, he's always in the kill feed after. It's quite impressive, actually. No one's shutting him down.
He's not getting stunned. He's not getting knocked out. Yeah, I've only heard of one instance. And keep an eye on Sukyang on the Sombra behind the entire enemy team. That's definitely going to let everybody know with the EMP being thrown out. You might end up regretting that. And actually, the Death Blossom there will claim Cloudy Shifu. So a big piece taken out of the fight when you know the hero that went down.
Yeah, and that's a huge bomb there from DC Bolt, just getting Chi and Busan down. And Destiny does have his blade back already. So this will be interesting going into the next fight, and Busan swapping around onto the Soldier now instead of the Reaper.
I'd be guessing just trying to be a bit more mobile and trying to touch the point proper. And there's the minefield put out by Autumn with a plot. He's gotten a ton of alt charge onto himself that it is not to be, and just the unsheath the blade did not get any value off it. And you might have actually jinxed him there, friendo. Sorry about that. But there is overtime now in effect, and Thunder has actually gotten rid of the Brigitte there, so that is a huge scalp, all things considered. And now is Paradigm Shift just trying to hold the opposition at bay more than anything else.
Yeah, Destiny on that blade, just a bit unlucky. He tried to get the fire, it seemed like, but just wasn't able to return, and then just ended up diving into the tanks. And this will be Paradigm Shift closing out just before point 2, so it will be a tough push to get to the end of the second point, but I think it will be a tough ask also from Pluto to hold them there as well. So it should be a close one coming up here.
Definitely a tale of two teams that have proven that they are on the level, all things considered. And just to remind you all, Paradigm Shift are the choosers of Blizzard World and are currently the leaders in the series. They lead 2 maps to 1 and could bring all this series to a close if they match the distance acquired by the side of Pluto. And now, who do you see being used in this next half?
Well, we saw on Route 66 how dominant Paradigm were, and I think that we might see Paradigm running a similar comp, but with Pluto Gaming not actually running the same team, have 2 subs out, we might see them be able to hold this, but who knows? With Thunder on that Hammond, he was doing some work there. They do have the triple tank, it seems like they'll be running. And Destiny, he was going to be running... Oh, I've forgotten already. He was going to be running someone other than Junkrat, but has swapped. If you can enlighten me on to who that was, I was going to bring it up, but just lost my mind for a second.
It is getting late into the night. It is 10:15 Australian Eastern, and we thank you all for sticking with us and enjoying the show. And keep an eye on Sukyang on the McCree, definitely wanting to make Autumn sit down and reconsider who he chooses for his heroes. Looks like they're diving onto the point proper for the side of Paradigm Shift. Almost got a ton of value off of jumping right in there for DC Bolt, but they've forced the side of Pluto onto the low ground for the most part. So that is one part done. Now the next part is to get the rest of the team for Pluto Gaming, but DC Bolt's fallen out of the fight, quite literally gone into the drink. So all things considered, a bit of a stalemate, but a win for the side of Pluto. Definitely will be now with the kill feed of the state that it's in.
Yeah, always, if you're able to hold a push on here, it's always nice, but sadly they did get a tick taken from them, so it will be a bit difficult going into the next fight because they only need to take 2 more. It's always difficult when they don't have to capture the full 100. But Destiny does have the Riptide. It looks like he is setting up currently in the backlines to be able to get them when they push on a point. 3 more ults on the side of Pluto Gaming, with only 3 on the other side.
Might be the cue to engage. Thunder is definitely rolled in, and Destiny is rolled right over Quinlan and Autumn. The Riptide will take care of business, and well, on the back of one singular ult, that is a fight decided and with authority.
Yeah, I do love seeing the counter pharmacy tires. It's always fun seeing the tire just climb up to the top of the map and just launch out and surprise them, because you never really expect it as the pharmacy when it happens the first time. But every time they'll hear that tire nail on, they'll be watching out for it coming up over the roofs.
They're definitely going to be aware of it now and may not be able to get away with that again. There is a supercharger down, and there is DC Bolt following suit. Thunder has blown up in a cacophony of explosions, and Autumn has done so as well. 4 flags there for Paradigm Shift, and that is all but shattered in spectacular fashion the defense of Pluto Gaming, and that'll be that. 4 minutes flat when the gate drops for the payload.
That was an explosive team fight, to say the least, for Paradigm, and with the 2 explosive ults coming out there from the Hammond and the Farah, with Autumn and Thunder. They did get a lot of value for those. They got the Bongo down, as well as Devatamech with the mines, and just a very well executed pile driver into mines there from Thunder. Obviously been practicing his Hammond.
Yes, indeed. We're still having an eagle get a fight. Destiny is now on the Widowmaker, has made the best of Quinlan. And well, when you drop your Mercy in any fight, that is a huge loss and a lot of gas taken out of the engine.
Yeah, a pick onto the support can just really end your fight. So if you're attacking, you just fall back and wait. And that's a High Noon coming out. Is it High Noon? Oh, it certainly is. But it is 2 for 2 at the moment. With the res coming out onto Autumn, it does seem like Paradigm should be able to push up here.
Perhaps. And I'm actually having issues locally, but there's no issues for the side of Paradigm Shift. They're really stretching out, especially these respawns. Destiny is no longer part of the fight. Now Autumn is really keeping everybody at an arm's reach, despite having the shield down for the side of Pluto Gaming. But yet again, another high noon that has been given a ton of value, and it's so close yet so far to the yellow box of victory for Paradigm Shift. They do have time on their side. They have ults too coming up, but they're really going to have to make this all work like a charm.
Sukyang getting very quick high noons there, and he's already a third of the way to his next one. We do have the deep bomb and the nano possibly coming up soon, but the side of Paradigm Shift do have 3 ults, possibly 4 coming up now, and just waiting on their Primal Rage and deep bomb.
There's still the barrage there in the back pocket for Autumn, and is definitely wanting to wait for Busan to be ejected from his mech to use it properly. That could be the Q, but with 2 going down, especially the healer there, that might be the end of that. And now we're down to 1 minute 10 and less for Paradigm Shift, and you're running out of chances.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got.
It does look like there's a chance of Oasis now. After Pluto got stopped there, I was thinking maybe we'll see them push out to a 3-1, but they have made a very good fight here. You do see Autumn flanking around, though. He does have the barrage flanking around. Oh no, he did start shooting, so he won't be able to get the flank barrage, but do have Fundair pushing up, possibly doing a minefield soon. And that's the barrage coming out, getting huge value there. That is why
this could actually be their way in, with everybody going down on the side of Pluto. And finally they broke free, but it's definitely not over yet. They still have the respawn to deal with, and the side of Pluto can definitely get in, but they're going to have to be speedy about it. And they definitely are with their composition. And there's the engagement call from Fundair with the minefield out, but it might not be enough, especially with all the members going down. And wow, Clanny Shifu only getting the consolidation frag, but so close yet so far. We're going to 5.
Oasis, here we come. That was very good from Pluto in the end there. And I love how close these games did. Oh, and that is Cyber gone. So until he gets back, his Discord was having a few issues there. So it has been a couple of very close games after Route 66. And we did see Sukyang getting a lot of value out of his high noons in the last couple maps. So into Oasis, which sometimes McCree's can do extremely well in Oasis, and sometimes they can't. It depends on how they're getting shut down. And we're hoping that Sukyang will be able to pull off a good McCree, because he's been popping off in the last couple maps. And welcome back, Cyberways.
Hello. Technology is not being my ally as of late, but looks like I've pulled it all into line. Looks like everything will be good to go. We're on to our final map and our final stanza of this matchup between Pluto Gaming and Paradigm Shift. And wow. If any of the McCrees in Pluto Gaming's lineup, you touched on it briefly there. If they could run roughshot, especially on Oasis, which is, well, tailor-made for McCree's, they'll just run riot and be an unstoppable force.
Yeah, Pluto, they fought back from the role that was Route 66, and they're really trying to just show that they are someone to be a team to be reckoned with in this Ascent competition. And as we're heading into Oasis now, we will see that we will be playing on. Oh my, I've forgotten. City Center first. Sorry.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, this is the site of many a long-term skirmish and rivalry, and we'll add another chapter to it.
Yeah, Autumn obviously going on to his fire. He's been absolutely insane tonight, winning a lot of fights for Paradigm, and it just seems like he hasn't been contested too much. Obviously, Sukyang has been doing a bit of work on the McCree, but not quite getting the fire as often as you'd hope.
No, and perhaps Autumn is very well aware of that and will play in ways to either make them a non-factor or let them get as little as possible onto Autumn, just to give him a clean way into the sky and rain death, destruction, and mayhem from above with the rocket launcher. And now's the time. It's all come down to this. The gates are down. We're going to Oasis. Map 5 is underway.
Yeah, so we do see the just a couple of 222 comps coming out here. We haven't really seen that today, and we do have the Doomfist actually on Pluto Gaming, and they are fighting in the library area, it seems like, and they're asking for Paradigm just to push up.
And Paradigm does have the high ground, and it's going to be really interesting to see how Destiny gets utilized. There's a huge Bionade there onto the majority of the Pluto members, and Thunder caused a mech ejection, and now the manpower is slowly being thinned out, and Arissa's probably saying, thank goodness for that shield, because it held out for a lot longer than a lot of others. But now Paradigm Shifter sees control of the point first.
Yeah, Paradigm already have a Nano up their sleeve, and possibly Virage coming up soon, so that can really end the next push coming in, considering they're only shielded as an Orisa, so it's not very mobile to stop a Virage. But there's also a High Noon available, but currently Paradigm will know that because of the hack coming in from the Sombra is showing it to everyone.
Indeed, and Thunder has been amplified and making Pluto taste a lot of high voltage rock and roll. Has used that Tesla cannon to good effect, along with the Claddy Shifu with the assistant. That push, or what push, exactly?
And Destiny possibly getting stagnant here. No, he will get away, so won't be another 20-second wait. But currently building up to 50% now. I do have a couple of ults built up on the side of Pluto Gaming, but Paradigm only used Nano and Barrage, and Barrage is almost back.
That could actually be quite a bad placement. That's definitely been made to pay a receipt. DC Bolt has blown 2 attackers from Pluto Gaming out of the water, and you can tell by the current positions of the Pluto Gaming squad, they're just hightailing it all the way out. On the verge of being shut out, they do not want to be staggered at all, and they're already changing things up.
Yeah, I think Autumn, we've just really seen the Autumn Masterclass today. He's been playing around this McCree perfectly, it seems like, not being taken down too many times, except for when he's probably getting a bit over-aggressive. So moving on to 90% now, with Pluto Gaming currently pushing on the point, trying to get at least overtime in. But
Autumn demolishes the Brigitte, then there is the Doomfist coming down and claiming the Ana, and actually trying to keep things alive for his team, but is the only person on the point aside from the Diva, who had been ejected, had actually been left not quite, and did Chi-Chi actually touch the point? Yes, the Winston actually got a foot on it. Now is the chance for Pluto to start filing in and try to balance things out, and they're making a good go of this.
Yeah, the Nano coming out onto the Wrecking Ball, a bit more survivability, but that'll be the first point gone, sadly. And that was really just a steamroll from Paradigm. It's not looking good going into the next map.
Being shut out like that, especially on one of the maps that's far as Playground in City Center, and we move on to no, this isn't University, is it? I'm blanking on the names.
Oh, so am I. I rarely see Oasis, so what's not ready for this?
No,
University is the more indoor one.
That's what I thought.
So maybe this is City Center.
Either way, there's cars. Don't get blasted out into them. You will be run over, and they will not pay insurance. Autumn just ruined this day, and you said it, a masterclass, and he's adding chapter after chapter, and the rest of his team are being assistant editors of said book. And, well, I want a copy of that because Autumn has been unstoppable thus far.
That was amazing. I was on Autumn's POV in that time, and he hit an air shot on the soldier and then followed up straight after with the kill on him as well. He's just been absolutely mowing everyone down here. Autumn, and good support from this team as well. They know how well he's been playing and how little they've been countering him really because of the positioning.
If you're gonna leave a menace unchecked, you will face the consequences, and that's exactly what is happening thus far. That is the first reply frag there from Busan, but it's all paradigm shift, and well, dare I say it, it's the autumn show. It's been a change of seasons.
Thank you.
Yeah, feel like we're in the northern hemisphere or something.
Yeah, indeed.
Surprisingly, the Koreans aren't dealing with the autumn quite well, even though they're in the middle of it.
Enemy contact.
Maybe not. And
so that is actually autumn's frag there onto PG0. It was a suicide, but there was some group coming in there.
yeah, I wonder why he didn't get credit. Destiny did end up getting rid of Cloudy Shifu, but that's just mere formalities, and Paradigm Shift have gone a level beyond. We saw them briefly go to the time chamber and try to level up, and Autumn definitely smell like a rat. Destiny's been found out and gone right to the health pack. Will definitely be making note of this and gotten an air shot onto him, so that's definitely made everything honest. And there is the barrage and the nano boost to basically put a rubber stamp and a giant rocket onto the papers that say this is Paradigm Shift's property. And now the side of Pluto, what do? You have the ults at your back, but not a whole lot else. They might have Jedi, which is the biggest piece that they could use to get Autumn out of the air.
Yeah, well, they just need to be touching at this point. That's the first thing. They got the Primal Rage coming out, and they've got a whole lot of bolts to use. It's just whether or not they use them well.
Not really all that much, and there it is. The high value target had been claimed, but it might be all for naught as we continue on another shutout. But the manpower, at least, and the HP is slowly tipping in favor of Pluto. But now we see Autumn's back onto the point proper, and the comrades in arms are slowly following suit. So this elongated fight, they're not going quietly on the side of Pluto, but they're definitely making their last stand.
Yeah, Autumn's got another barrage already and gets a deep router mech with it. With Cloudy taking the final blow onto that, but Autumn just shutting it out Pluto, and that's gonna be the match. It's 3-2 to Paradigm, and Autumn just absolutely shutting everything down in these last couple of maps.
Indeed, I would definitely give him my MVP for the map, and dare I say the set. And DC Bolt, despite getting play of the game, he's done a lot of good plays too. This was a true team effort, in my opinion. At least this play of the game, but the map of Oasis at the very least, and quite a bit of the set, as a matter of fact, was basically Autumn just asserting dominance over everyone.
For those who are interested, for this last Oasis map, Autumn had 40% of the team's hero damage.
Ridiculous. Absolutely insane.
That's just insane. Nothing more can be said. I'd love to see, obviously we won't be able to do it, but I'd love to see the amount that he got over the entire game, over the entire set, because he was just constantly there. Like, even from Ilios, he was playing extremely well.
And well, he was public enemy #1 to the point of Pluto almost making a comp exclusively just to cut him out. And well, when you're running that, when you're being that much of a terror, where the entire team will mold around you and eliminating you, I'd call that a job well done. Any player would call that a job well done, where you make the enemy team so scared that they just basically say, yeah, we're shutting him down. We're shutting him down.
Yeah, it's that feeling when you get solo ulted, you're annoyed because there's only but then you have that thought in the back of your head. It might be because they think I'm good.
It's definitely the way of things, but that will be on that bombshell. dare I say it, that is where we will conclude our Ascent broadcast. 3-2 Paradigm Shift being your winners over Pluto Gaming. And after a deep breath, Infinity, what are your final thoughts?
I just think it was an extremely close game. There's a couple of subs coming in from Pluto really just helped them get back into the set. It looked like it could have been a 3-0, but they fought back to a 3-2, and that was a really good job from them, especially considering that they're playing on high ping, and that might have made Autumn just that much easier to get around because of the high ping.
Perhaps, but, well, obviously it was not to that much of an avail, but really sound effort from Pluto Gaming. I'll be keeping my eye on them in the future, and as well as Paradigm Shift. That is where our broadcast will conclude for this evening. And Infinity, you have been my co-caster. Thank you for joining me. Do you have any final thoughts or shout-outs you want to give before we bid everyone adieu?
Not particularly, just got AOL tomorrow on the same channel. Make sure you pay attention to that. We got just some ladder games. I'm not sure which ones are being streamed, but should have a watch of that.
Indeed, the potential stars of tomorrow and amongst the amateur ranks. Keep an eye on that, but that is where we will conclude our Ascent coverage for this evening. My name is Justin aka Cyberways. My co-caster has been Infinity. My producer has been Wen. Good night, happy fragging, and be the best hero you can be.